I just thought I'd make a separate video as a progress update to the ute, just to give you all an idea of what's happened, what's going on, what's coming up, I suppose. So we'll start with the body. We'll leave the good bits till last. So the tailgate, as you've seen, is getting close to done. Then once that's done, I need to finish fixing up these side rails, and then I'm not sure where I'll go from there. Either I'll start on the hard lid because it's just got, don't even think that will focus. You see on the edge just there, it's just got little bits of damage like that, so it'll just need a little bit of filling here and there. It's all the way along the length really. It's probably one of the worst spots. And you come around to the back. Focus. There's a few scratches. Little chips in the paint along the edge. And yeah, it's probably one of the worst of the chips, to give you an idea. Top of it's fine. There's a little crack in the paint towards the middle somewhere, but that's no big deal. Right, then what's next? Inside the tray. Inside the tray is going to be pretty straightforward. It's just getting a spray-on liner. So back around here. Just going to go all black on the inside. Nice and simple. Just clean it up and protect it. So there won't be too much work as in regards to repairing things in there. It's all just going to get rust coated and then sprayed over. Now the main body itself is pretty much fine. There is, I think there's a little dent along here anyway. Can't remember where I thought I saw one. But as you can see, the main body of the car is really quite straight. The roof itself is fine too. There's a decent stone chip here. Can't see because it's got touch-up paint in it. But that's all the damage to the roof. And then the guards, I've got a couple of scratches on them from me working around in here. Down inside, the paint's chipping a little bit. Or is that? It looks like a sticker that's almost been painted over. Anyway, the paint's not the best inside. You can see there's a little bit of cracking. But otherwise, the guards are pretty much fine. There is a little bit of damage there, but that could just be filled and smoothed out. It's nothing major. Then passenger headlight and indicator are fine. The driver's one did get rooted in the accident though, so I could keep that. I'm just going to replace both of them, get nice new ones, and have them matching. So I need to get those done. Obviously need to get a bonnet, especially if you saw the last update video where I had a bonnet briefly for a couple of hours at least before I had to return it. The front rear is on, that needs adjusting, but apart from that, it's good. Front bar, I already have, that's sitting on the back here. All wrapped up. Let's give this a peek. There she is. So she's just in bare plastic. So she'll need to be prepped and painted. And that's ready to go on. The front lip has been prepped. It just needs its final sanding and paint. So the front end's halfway there. Really, I could have just fixed that and then left it, but ain't all these sort of things. This panel pops in a little bit here. I'm gonna see if I can poke that out, just because you can see the door line pops out. It's not the door that's the issue, it's this panel. It's a replacement from the Wreckers. And also you can see these lines don't quite line up because of it, so hopefully I can sort of just pop it out. Otherwise we'll replace it, or maybe I might even just leave it. So you can't tell, at least leave it for now. Here's the guard that was originally on the car. And so I had it about a week before someone decided to roll back into me and then drive off. And you can see here that the previous owner had used liquid nails to put the bumper on. And then again, this side is fairly simple. The worst of it is there is a little dip here to get underneath. You can see that sort of point of impact there where something's hit and popped everything up. You can't really see it looking at the side of the car, but it's there. It's not an issue for roadworthy or anything like that. And as you can see down here, there's a little bit of rust in the bottom of that panel from the Wreckers. Just like like little bits in the doors like this. So the doors need a bit of work. And there is just one. Don't know if you can catch it in the light. Yes, the car is shiny. I'm a detailer by trade, so it's been polished within an inch of its life. Just in the middle there, in the reflection, you can see there's a ripple in the reflection. That's where the dent is. It's really the best way I can show it to you. If you just look into, if you follow the lines of that reflection of the ground out there, sort of in the middle of the panel, and you can see just a little dip. So that'll need to be either popped out or filled or what have you. And then that's about it. The mirrors are in good condition for a VS. They won't need much prep, just to be sort of primed and sprayed. So yeah, most of the body itself is just going to need to be roughed up before it can be resprayed. So that'll save us a bit of work, thankfully, because I'm just one man doing all this. And as you can see, I don't have the biggest workspace. So that's going to be difficult. And then obviously when it comes time to paint, pull off all the trims and the rubbers. These trims here are metal. They're going to be getting a new coat of gloss black, along with these plastic side pieces. You can see down there it's quite faded. And also in here, so the colours started to flake off. And down the other side we have the same issue with the rust spots on the tub rails. So again, I'll just spot blast those. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of work. I mean, she drives fine. I mean, I was driving home from work when this happened, when the accident happened. So mechanically, she's fine. Just needs that body touch up. It really doesn't even need a new motor or anything. But what do they always say? Do it once, do it right. Plus, I want a good little weapon, and it's my baby. So hopefully at tax time, as I said, we'll get the motor out, which will give us a chance to hopefully strip out everything else and paint the engine bay. But that's it on the cards for now. There's not really any plans for interior. I don't think I can't show you in there. I could show you in there, but this door's locked and I can't be bothered going around the other side. And you can see the biggest issue on the interior is the airbag covers lifting up, as is common on these old Commodores. There's a little plate in there on a hinge that flips down and out of the way when the aircon deploys, and this cover is just glued to that plate, so it's just the glue lifting on the edges. All you have to do is sort of stick it back down. And it won't affect the operation of the airbag or anything like that. Then once all that's said and done, the diff needs a rebuild because it's whining. That can be left though. It's, it hasn't been running that long like it, and can run for it forever. It just sounds like the pinion gear, so it can run forever on a stuffed one of those. And we need to find her some new shoes. Get rid of these ugly pieces of shit here. Not gonna go massive or crazy. Probably just stick with 18s. They fill up the guard nicely without being sort of, hey, look at me, big, like 20s would be or something like that. And also 235 by 18s fit in there just fine. They're sort of on the limits of what you can fit without any modification to the guards or any spaces or anything like that, so keep those. Brakes. These are pretty much the same brakes as are on the supercharged version. Ignore the worn out old rotors. So really, in the immediate future, just going to clean them up. And then down the track, probably put a big brake kit in it or something, or just upgrade to something like a VE brakes. just to give it a little bit of extra stopping power. That said, it's not going to be a crazy amount of power to where we really have to worry about upgrading the brakes. My biggest thing is I'm just going to service them properly, rebuild all the calipers, just make sure the braking system's working fine. Because yeah, as I said, we're not chasing monstrous power. We're not actually going to be getting to power levels where I really need to upgrade the brakes that much. So really just some decent rotors and pads will probably be enough to get by, but we'll see. There's always the look factor, it isn't there, of getting some big bloody K-Sports on there or something like that. Especially if I've already spent the money everywhere else. I think that's about it for off the top of my head. Then it's just little sort of sundry things, like I'm going to replace the radiator and all the hoses. Fuck off this ugly ass intake. Just give everything a good clean out. Luckily these motors are quite small, being a 6-cylinder obviously, but you can see the bell housing there and the bolts. So basically it's just a matter of getting under there to get the bottom couple, unbolting the top, getting everything else off the engine, then just slide her forward and lift her out. Anything I'm not too sure of is this bastard. The aircon compressor. Car's aircon doesn't work, so I don't know if I'm going to bother keeping it at all. It's never really been that much of a bother to me, and especially as this won't be a car that's driven all the time, I think I'll be right. Plus, I'm the one who drives it and I don't really care for air conditioning all that much. It's a nice creature comfort, but you know, it's a little cab, roll down both my windows and get moving, and it's not too bad. Alright, well, I waffled on too long. This is supposed to be a 5-minute video and it's turning into a 20, so I'm gonna get out of here. And if you have been following, thanks for watching. Yeah, have a good weekend.